Hi everyone, welcome to the third video of the distance learning program. I hope you're well and I hope that your families are safe and healthy. Today we're going to start with Ventures 3 Lesson 2F on page 29 of the Ventures 3 book. So if you'll turn to page 29 of this book, we're going to do a grammar lesson. And then we're also going to read an article from News for You and answer questions about the article. So if you'll turn to page 29, we'll begin the lesson on grammar. This lesson is about the simple past and the present perfect. We're going to practice using the simple past and the present perfect. These are two verb tenses that we've studied so far in this chapter. If you look right at the top, it says, use the simple past for an activity that happened at a specific time in the past. Use the present perfect for an activity that began in the past and continues to the present. So remember, the present perfect can be used to describe an action that happened at some time in the past over a period of time, or it can also be used to talk about an action that began at a specific time and continued up to the present. So let's look at two examples that they have in this grammar connections exercise. It says, Rita studied Arabic in 2012. Rita studied Arabic in 2012. Now, studied is just the simple past. So this means this action happened at a specific time in the past and ended. She studied Arabic in 2012. 2012 was the year that Rita studied Arabic. Now look at the other example. It says Rita has studied Arabic since 2012. Notice that we are using the verb have in the present tense, and so has matches with Rita because Rita is singular and has is singular. And then we have the past participle of the verb study, which is studied. So this tells you that the verb tense is present perfect. When you use the present tense of the verb have with the past participle of the main verb, that's called the present perfect tense. And it means that she began studying in 2012 and studied up until the present time. She studied Arabic from 2012 to the present. And we use the word since to tell us that the action began at a specific time in the past and continued until the present. Let's look at part A. It says, talk with a partner. You need an English tutor. Remember, a tutor is a person who teaches you a subject. Look at the chart and compare the two tutors. Use the simple past and present perfect to talk about the tutor's experience. With your partner, choose the tutor you think is best. Now we have a conversation between two people. A, it says, Rita would be a good tutor. She studied Spanish for 4 years and she took French classes. She has always studied Arabic. She has also studied Arabic since 2012. The other person says, maybe, but she hasn't had any tutoring experience. Dow has tutored English since 2015. He also, and then it says ... That's called an ellipsis. It means there's more information to follow. So let's look at the two tutors, and we're going to compare the qualifications and the experience of Rita and Dow. First, we'll start with Rita on the left. Rita Lawrence. Then it says from 1966 to 1976, Rita lived in Phoenix, Arizona. AZ is the abbreviation for Arizona. From 1976 to 1980, she studied Spanish in college, and in 1980, she graduated from college with a B average, a degree in education. So she received her degree in education in 1980. From 1980 to 1986, it says, teach English in Mexico. So for 6 years, from 1980 to 1986, she taught English in Mexico. In 1987, it says, get married to English teacher. So if you were using the simple past, you could say, in 1987, Rita married an English teacher. Or you could say, Rita got married to an English teacher. From 1988 to 2012, it says stay home with children. So if you were to describe what Rita did during that period of time, you could say from 1988 to 2012, Rita stayed home with children. And that would be the simple past. From 2009 to 2012, it says study French at night school. From 2012 to now, it says teach at an elementary school. Now we could use the present perfect because she began teaching at night school in 2012 and she continued to do that until the present time. So you could say, Rita has taught at an elementary school since 2012. And that would be the present perfect. You would be using the present perfect tense. From 2012 to now, it also says study Arabic online. So again, you could use the present perfect and say, Rita has studied Arabic since 2012. Then from 2015 to now, it says volunteer at a hospital translating Spanish to English. So would you use the simple past or would you use the present perfect to describe what she did from 2015 to now? Well, you'd use the the present perfect. You'd use the present perfect because you're talking about an action that began in 2015 and continued until the present. So you would say, Rita has volunteered at a hospital translating Spanish to English since 2015. Now let's look at Dow. Dow is the tutor on the right. Dow Lin. From 1990 to 2004, he lived in Shanghai, China. That would be using the simple past because this is what happened from 1990 to 2004. Then in 2004, it says he moved to Chicago, Illinois. So you could simply say Dow moved to Chicago, Illinois in 2004, and that would be the simple past. The reason you use the simple past is because it happened at a specific time in the past. Then, from 2004 to 2008, he learned English in high school. Again, that's the simple past. From 2008 to 2012, it says study English and computer science in college. So how would you describe what he did from 2008 to 2012? You would simply say, Dow studied English and computer science in college from 2008 to 2012. Again, you would just be using the simple past. In 2012, it says graduate from college with an A average degree in computer science. So again, you would just use the simple past to describe what happened at that specific time in 2012. You would simply say Dow graduated from college with an A average in 2012. Also in 2012, it says travel around US for 4 months. From 2012 to 2014, Dow worked for a travel agency. Again, that's the simple past. Then, from 2014 until now, it says work as a computer technician. So how would you describe what he did from 2014 until now? In this case, you would use the present perfect again. You would say, Dow has worked as a computer technician since 2014 because he began working as a computer technician in 2014 and he continued to do that until the present time. Then it says 2015 to now, tutor English at a high school. In this case, you'd use the present perfect again. You would say, Dow has tutored English at a high school since 2015 because he began tutoring in 2015 and continued to do that until now. Finally, it says from 2016 until now, live with aunt and uncle who only speak Chinese. So how would you describe what he did since 2016? Would you use the present? Would you use the simple past or would you use the present perfect? Well, since you're talking about an action that began in 2016 and continued until now, you would use the present perfect with the word since. You would say, Dow has lived with his aunt and uncle since 2016. Finally, in part B, you would try to compare the qualifications and the experience of Rita and Dow and make a decision about who you would like to have as a tutor. Some people might choose Rita, some people might choose Dow, but you could give the reasons for your choice based on their experience, and you could use the simple past or the present perfect to describe the activities that they did in the past. Now that I've completed the grammar part of the lesson, I'd like to read an article from News for You. I've emailed the article to you so that you can read along with me. And then maybe if we have enough time, I can ask you some questions about the article. Here's the article from News for You. It says 1 in 10 Americans has lost their job. More losses may be on the way. Then, in the words below the picture, that's called the caption, it says a barbershop is closed in Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan. Many people have lost their jobs as the coronavirus causes businesses to close. I sent the article to you in 2 different forms. One is a text email, and also I sent a PDF, which is a picture of the article. So whichever one is easiest for you to open, you can go ahead and look at the article now. Please read along with me. At some point, we will be able to leave our homes. We will see and hug family members again. Children will visit their friends. The worst U.S. public health crisis in recent history will be controlled. Now, you may wonder what the word crisis means, and since it's a highlighted word, you can put your cursor on the word and it'll tell you the definition. It says it's a noun and it means serious situation. But the health of the U.S. economy will not be the same. In the 3 weeks between March 26th and April 9th, more than 16 million people filed for jobless benefits. Now, you may be wondering, there are only about 14 days between March 26th and April 9th. And this says that in the 3 weeks between those two dates, more than 16 million people filed for jobless benefits. So the writer made a mistake. Either he meant 2 weeks or he should have put a different date. But when you say in the 3 weeks between March 26th and April 9th, 3 weeks is 21 days, so that means there should be 21 days between those two dates. That means they have lost their jobs, or it means their working hours have been cut to zero while their companies are closed. In February, only 3.5% of Americans who wanted jobs did not have them. Now 10% have lost their jobs. That is 1 in 10. It is the largest and fastest job loss in more than 70 years. More Americans will probably lose their jobs in the next several weeks. Companies that have tried to keep their workers may have to let them go. Job boom is over. A job boom means that there has been a lot of job creation during that time. So many new jobs were created over the past 5 years or so. The new coronavirus was a sudden hit to the economy. And since sudden is highlighted, you can find out what that means by putting your cursor over it and clicking the word. And it says it's an adjective and it means happening quickly. So it's an adjective that describes the hit to the economy. To help slow the spread of the virus, most offices sent their employees home to work. Only essential, which means necessary, workers are allowed to leave home for work. Those workers are needed to keep society running. They include healthcare workers. They include police officers and firefighters. They include people who work at grocery and drugstores. They also include some workers who drive or fly us from place to place. But restaurants had to close. So did theaters and stores. This crisis has erased all the jobs created in the past 5 years. And erased means removed or eliminated. Help is on the way.
Congress passed a stimulus package last month.
Help is on the way. Congress passed a stimulus package last month. And stimulus is a noun that means something that causes something else to happen, develop, or become more active. It includes an extra $600 per week for people who file for unemployment aid. That extra money will be paid until July. For many people, that increase in normal jobless benefits will almost match what they were earning. Aid for the jobless. And aid is help. But filing for that aid has not yet been easy. Many states do not yet have enough staff to handle the sudden increase in claims and questions. and claims is a noun that means official request for something, such as money, that you believe you should have. Websites are crashing. Phone lines are busy, and people have reported that calls are not answered. It may take a while for the process to work smoothly. Economists are worried. They study a society's resources and what it makes. So that tells you what economists do. Heidi Shearholtz has spent her life studying the job market. She says the number of job losses is scary. She thinks 20 million people could be out of work by July. That would be the worst jobless time since the Great Depression. That lasted from August 1929 until March 1933. Well, I hope you enjoyed the article, and if you don't understand some of the words, you can always look them up in the dictionary, or you can text me or email me and I'll help you. I think the time has run out, so we'll have to ask questions about the article in the next video. I hope you enjoyed it, and please tune in for the next video. Thanks a lot, and bye-bye.